Hello and welcome back. Today is Wednesday, September 2nd, which means that I moved in 5 days ago and I have my third COVID test scheduled for today. So that's scheduled for like 20 minutes from now, which is at noon, and I've also scheduled a time to pick up my package at Matthews Arena at 1:10. So to pick up mail this year, you have to schedule a 10-minute time window to pick it up, and the closest one that I could get to noon was at 1:10. So since I'm going outside anyway, and since I have a big time window in between those two slots, I figured that I would kind of do a mini campus tour to figure out what campus looks like currently in the current state of things. So I decided that for today I have 3 main targets that I want to hit in this video. The first target is that I want to go around campus and see what different safety protocols Northeastern has installed. So specifically I'm interested in seeing what the dining tents look like and see how Northeastern kind of plans to manage the academic spaces and to maintain proper social distancing. My second goal is to get to the mailroom and to pick up my package, and also to just figure out what the deal is with that this semester. And my third goal is to get bubble tea. So yeah, every other semester I always get a bubble tea the first night of move-in, but obviously since we were quarantined this year, I did not do that. So I think I'm gonna go pick it up today. With all that said, I think it's time for me to go take my test. So let's go do that.
So before you can take your test at Cabot, you need to complete your daily wellness check, so I just wanted to quickly show you what that process looks like. It's really simple and easy, and it's only 2 questions, so you can honestly do it right in front of Cabot if you forgot to beforehand, because it immediately gives you the QR code you need to scan to get into Cabot. Before we go, I make sure I have my phone with my daily wellness check, my mask, my lanyard, and hand sanitizer. Let's go! So this is what the elevator situation looks like in a high-rise dorm. My building is 16 stories, so it's one of the taller buildings on campus. There are signs everywhere, so the rules are pretty clear, but it's 2 people per elevator. There are waiting spots on the floor, and then that's just a peek of the Proctor station, which is now self-tap with your Husky ID. And now, welcome to the outdoors. Cabot is super close to West Village H, but in between there's this clock tower plaza, which they put in brand new seating and greenery. I think that the school was putting more money into the outdoor furnishings to encourage us to stay outside and not go inside, but it's really nice and I'm excited to check it out. After my test, I went back to West Village H because it's the computer science building, so I spent a lot of time there and it has both study spaces and classrooms to check out. So basically they put stickers on the desks to say how many people can be at each spot, and there were a few hand sanitizer stations just throughout the building. I was honestly really surprised to see that the water fountains were still open, so use those at your own risk. There were more workspaces, and then when I got to a classroom, there was a sign on the door specifying the classroom capacity, and the seats inside were spaced apart. There were some rules posted on the door, including wiping down the seats before and after use, but I didn't see any wipes anywhere, so hopefully they put those in before classes start. Moving on to the West Village quad, everything here looked normal. There weren't really any signs, even on the chairs and benches. The Small Wallies, aka Smallies, was still open, and there was another moving bin station by the Welcome Center. Moving on to Centennial, at first glance everything looked the same and the chairs were grouped up everywhere, but when I got closer it looked like they tried to make an attempt to paint spots, in the center area at least, but they were then ignored, it looked like. The big 2020 sign was still up, just to remind us about what a great year it's been so far. Crossing over Forsyth, there were signs that had blue paws leading back to Columbus Garage. Moving on to Snell, it was closed, so I couldn't go in there. I'm not sure if they're planning to reopen it, but it was pitch black in there and I couldn't see anything, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Then I passed by Curry Student Center, which still had the Husky Card services on the first floor, and I also saw a sign for Fall Fest World, which is going to be the virtual replacement for Fall Fest this year, and it's supposed to be kind of like Minecraft apparently, so I'm really excited to see it. I used the automatic doors to get inside Curry, and I saw a lot of floor markings and glass barriers at the registers. They took out the high stool tables to make more space for the lines, and once again there were stickers for how many people can sit in one place. Honestly, getting a seat in Curry before all this started was a nightmare, so I'm not sure how this will go down, but hopefully people will study in their dorms. Good old Popeyes, as usual, was the only food place with a line, with questionable distancing in my opinion. but now that they take the meal exchange, I expect it will be really crowded here. So if you can, I would suggest probably ordering on the Boost app beforehand, just because I have a feeling the crowds are going to be insane over here. Moving on to after hours, there were more tables and a roped off line for the Starbucks. Next, I went upstairs to the mezzanine and there were lots of tables, and then inside the student center there were lots of study spaces. Some of them were marked with the stickers, but others, like the couches, didn't have any signage. And there was also this keep it clean sign that matched the bucket that they gave us during move-in, so I thought that was kind of funny. Now heading outside of Curry, I went to the Science Quad, one of the locations that Northeastern bulldozed the trees down to put up some dining tents. They looked pretty spacious, and it looked like anyone could just walk in and out to eat in there if they wanted, but I might be wrong about that. Then I walked past East Village and Hastings to get to Krentzman, which was empty, and then I went to cross Huntington over into freshman territory. In front of Spear, there was another big dining tent set up, which again looked like it was open access, along with other tables outside of the tent, but I honestly didn't see any signs or markings anywhere. Here is just the intersection between Huntington and Forsyth, so right in front of Merino. I walked by Stetson West, which had a few seats outside, that's Spear, and then that's Stetson East, and I didn't see any outdoor tables despite there being a lot of space. So I don't know if they planned to put them there, but maybe they just weren't out today. Now I'm crossing back over Huntington. There were these new, almost like rubber walkways on the Green Line, and I think that's really nice because once it snows, it gets really slippery over there. Here are some stairs that they painted, and then I went back into Curry to check out the bookstore situation. There were markers on the floor to wait to get inside, and there were specific entrances and exits. There was also some more textbook pickups around the corner, which is where they usually are. All of the vending machines are closed, and then I wanted to see if the tunnels were still open. They were, although I didn't see a ton of signage around there. I also wanted to see what they've done to replace Rebecca's, but it didn't seem ready yet. I don't know, but there was no noise coming from inside, so I didn't want to be somewhere that I shouldn't be, but supposedly that space is going to be another food pickup spot. I went to take my usual exit out to Forsyth, but there was this sign for the University Health Center, and I felt like it was a bad idea to wander around here, so I went back into the tunnels, this time heading towards Snell Library. Under Snell, there are a lot of classrooms, and the ones that I peeked into seem to have everything spaced apart already. The final place I really wanted to see was the Symphony, because it's supposed to be a new food venue, but it also looked deserted despite the signs on the doors, so I didn't go inside there. Finally, I made my way to Matthews Arena to pick up my package, and I'll talk about that process in a little bit, but basically I waited a while before getting it. This entrance to Matthews is right by Mass Ave, so I went to Kung Fu Tea to pick up my order, and then I walked 10 minutes down Huntington to get back to my dorm, where I threw out the outer cardboard box in the trash room before heading upstairs.
I'm back. I just got back from the mailroom at Matthews, and I think that now, after experiencing it, it's safe to say that the system there is just, there is no system. Yeah, it kind of seemed like chaos there, to be honest. Hello, I wanted to clarify a few things about the mail process. So you might have just heard me say that there is no system, but I want to say that's not entirely accurate because there is a system. It's just the typical mail system that Northeastern has been using since I got here. So it's just like wait in line until there's a person available that scans your Husky card, and then they go get your package and bring it to you. When I said that there's no system, I meant that there wasn't anything specifically implemented for like COVID and for like sanitizing things. Literally the only difference between Spear and Matthews was that there were markers where you should stand in line that were 6 feet apart. And I guess there were also glass dividers as well, but I mean, it didn't matter that much because they're still handing you a package. And they were also handling my ID as well because it was kind of far and I couldn't just like scan it. So I had to hand them my lanyard. But yeah, I think I was expecting more when they said they moved it, because I thought that by moving it, that implied that they had a new system in place. and that wasn't the case. I think it really was just because they can't fit all those packages in Spear. They also didn't care at all about the appointment time I made, and I think that I probably could have gone whenever I wanted. I mean, there's a chance that they'll say no, but there wasn't anyone to like scan it before I got in, and they're not checking anything until you just give them your ID at the front. So maybe you don't have to schedule one of those. You didn't hear it from me, but and then on the way out, like there is in Spear, there was like a bin that you could put your cardboard in if you want to like unbox your stuff before you leave. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, so the place that they had the mail is at the far end of Matthews, so it is literally the furthest end of campus from where I am right now, but it's like the lobby of the arena, and there were only like 3 windows for students to get mail, so it wasn't any bigger than what is usually in Spear. It took a long time to get my package, but that's partly because the guy in front of me had 16 packages. But yeah, they weren't giving out bins there, so that's important to note. I'm not really sure how people can transport their big boxes without a bin. I will say that I probably won't be ordering as much stuff this semester until I go back to Spear. But yeah, I'm gonna show you what I ordered real quick. First thing I got was a new lamp. So usually I like to study around campus, but that's not really an option this semester. So I ended up investing in a better lamp because I'm gonna be stuck in this room for a lot this semester, it seems. And the other thing I got was the hangers, so now I can finally put my clothes in my closet. I was worried about it being too short for my desk, but it looks like I can bend it as far as I need, and then it'll fit under my desk. Cool! That actually worked. Yeah, I've always struggled with finding a lamp that fits like under the desk hutch in these rooms, because they're pretty low. And I feel like if the lamp's on top of the hutch, it's a bit too far away. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But this one works nice because it has so many different arms that bend, so I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, now that I'm done being excited about the lamp, I'm gonna open up the hangers so that I can get my clothes out of the vacuum bags that I have under my bed right now. It came in a pack of 50, but I definitely don't have 50 pieces of clothing to hang up on these. And they're like velvet, it's so fancy. So I'm done with the closet. Definitely bought too many hangers, but oh well. But it's nice to have some stuff in my closet because I think it makes it feel a little bit homier in here. So all 3 of my goals have been met for the day, so I think I'm gonna end the video here. But as always, if you have any questions, then feel free to ask and I'll try my best to answer. But yeah, thanks for watching and stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!